it's Sandra. Welcome to another episode of Asexualise, my asexual life. This is a place to be for education about asexuality, all things asexual, and I share my own asexual life journey in order to help you in yours. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit the great big subscribe button below right here, right now. Please hit that bell icon to get notified of every time I go live right now, post a new video. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you find the content useful, helpful, and insightful in any way, shape, or form, or you just want to give this channel some like love. I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. Well, if you didn't know, this is Asexual Perspectives Awareness Month, so we are celebrating our asexuality. We're celebrating our asexual spectrum and our differences within it. Yahoo! So that's enough for me playing around with my fibre optic lamp. Woohoo! So, yes, if you didn't know, Asexual Perspectives Awareness Month, I founded in 2017 when I launched the printed copy of my Asexual Perspectives book. And every July, I read excerpts out of this book and we discuss topics within it. If you haven't grabbed a copy of Asexual Perspectives already, the link is down below in the description. It's well worth the read. There's 47 real asexual stories in the book, including my own. So today's topic is talking all about what do asexuals wish for asexuality. So you might be a bit intrigued by this one and thinking, what exactly does that mean? Well, let me say the question so you understand far more. So, asexuality, is often misunderstood. There's a lot of misconceptions, a lot of myths and stereotypes. So with that in mind, I asked the interviewees in this book, if you could have one wish about being asexual, what would it be and why? Now, this person's story is C.A. Altman, and theirs is very interesting. I've always wished that platonic relationships were given more importance in the grand scheme of things. Friends are all I need and want, which is great because I can be friends with any plethora of people. However, there's always a chance that a good friend who is unique and irreplaceable, as all people are, will enter into a romantic or sexual relationship that is nearly guaranteed to overshadow our friendship. It makes it harder to feel the same sense of security in a platonic relationship than most romantics would be provided in a romantic relationship. Of course, it is possible to be in a secure friendship, but still tricky to establish. Yeah, I know that a lot of aromantic asexuals, those that lack romantic attraction as well as sexual attraction, they feel very disappointed and, cut off and kind of like upset when they're friends tend to get into a romantic or even sexual relationship if they're obviously more that way inclined, because obviously asexuals have friends that are not necessarily just asexual, and they feel really left out because a lot of the time when that person comes along, they just abandon that friend or they really cut down the amount of time they see them. And so it really does feel like they're abandoned. It's like, well, you liked me when you hadn't got a partner, what's happened now? And unfortunately, that's how things happen in the world, which doesn't make it right. I value friendships more than I've ever valued them in my life before. I used to think relationships was for life, friends come and go. Now I think the opposite. I think a friendship is for life and friends come and go. I think a friendship is for life and a relationship comes and goes. So before I used to think a relationship's for life, friends come and go. Now I think a friendship's for life and relationships come and go. I've got 3 really good solid friendships, one of whom is with my best asexual friend Sam. I have to say a big shout out to Sam as well, who gave a donation to this channel, and also to Roger, who watches this channel, for a channel donation when I was poorly, actually. So thank you so much, because it all goes back into helping asexuals. So if you want to make a channel donation, the donation link is below as well in the description. But getting back to the topic at hand, yeah, so some people, that really crave and need really close friendships, and their friendships take up a lot of their life, in time. When that person finds a partner, it can be disastrous for them because they can be like, well, what's happened, And I know some of my friends have experienced this as well, you know. I think when you get into a relationship, of course you have to spend a lot of time with that person. Of course you have to give them priority to a certain degree, but you should never ever forget who your true friends are, because they've been with you through thick and thin. And these days, you know, sometimes relationships just don't last for whatever reason. And I would highly recommend you don't get into a relationship with someone unless they're your best friend in the first place. Now, I know some people, they're like, oh, I'm such good friends with that person, I could never be in a relationship with them. But at the end of the day, you risk losing them if they enter a relationship with someone else, because they're not going to spend as much time with you. They're not going to be around as much as you'd like them to be. That's just the reality of the situation. So if you really like someone more than a friend, and you think, oh, but getting into a relationship would spoil the friendship, are you prepared to lose them to someone else who, you know, who they would get into a relationship with and take a lot more of their time up? If the answer is no, then what are you doing? Stop wasting time and go and tell that person how you feel. If the answer is yes, I don't mind losing them to someone else because I'm not right for them, then that's great, you know? And it's a good idea to make a few friends rather than just one. Then you've got other people to go to rather than just relying on one friend. Because as much as it's great, you know, the friends have their own lives and they do have their own difficulties and they do have everything else going on in their own lives. So it's better to have a few close friends if you can. Then if one person, you know, needs to go off on holiday for a while or travel the world, you've still got someone else to be friends with, you know. Or if people move, you know, you've still got someone there. My friends don't live in my city anyway, so try and they're spread around the UK. Anyway, let's crack on with today's topic. So we're going to hear from Anon's story. So this is Anonymous's story, basically. There's two people. One's called Anonymous's story and one's called Anon story. So this is another person that wanted to remain completely anonymous, but they're Anon in the book. They're not anonymous. So if you could have one wish about being asexual, what would it be and why? My wish would be for others to understand that we're perfect the way we are and we don't need to be changed or fixed. There are many of us and we aren't broken. We are good romantic partners and some are still willing to have sex even without attraction. Yeah, I really wish that myself too, you know. It's really important that, you know, people know that we're good quality people, you know. There's nothing broken, there's nothing needs fixing, there's nothing that's wrong, it's not a phase we're going through, it's not something we've just taken on and adopted, like you know, like some people call their friends like parents, their auntie or their uncle. Do you know what I mean? They kind of have them as an unofficial adopted aunt or uncle. I did that when I was a kid, you know. And sometimes people speak about asexuality. Oh, I appreciate you adopting that title. I appreciate you adopting that mindset. It's a sexuality, you know. That gets quite frustrating sometimes, trying to get through to people. This is actually a sexual orientation, you know. Speaking of that, I had someone in one of the groups I'm in, you know, and there's so many misconceptions, especially bisexuals. So basically, in this entrepreneur dating group I'm in, I was a bit fuming, to be honest, in the most respectful way that I could possibly be, and yeah. So anyway, they're being nice to me anyway, but basically, I did put an angry face to this because they said 7 types of singles, right? And number 7 was single by choice, right? And they had no desire for a partner, being single is a conscious, permanent lifestyle choice for many reasons. And then they've got loner, and then they've got celibate / asexual. Celibate / asexual. I was very fuming. I have to say, I pulled an angry face over that. Because at the end of the day, it's not, do you know what I mean? It's not the same. So I wasn't very happy about it, to be honest. So I wrote a post and I said, you know, because I thought it was important. I said, I am asexual and celibate is not the same as being asexual. Being celibate is choosing to abstain from sex for whatever reason. That's their choice. Asexuality is a sexual orientation that is a lack of sexual attraction and not a choice. Asexuals can still want a relationship and be in one. And a good proportion of asexuals are in relationships. some with another asexual and some with sexuals. I am asexual and love my single life, but also seeking a romantic relationship without sex. And this person wrote, I like the way you define this. And it's like, when they say define this, it sounds like it's like something I just decided to make up. That's the way I take it. Do you know what I mean? It's like I'm trying to, do you know what I mean? It's almost like they don't believe it's a sexual orientation. So I put, it's the truth. I've been helping asexuals and educating others since 2015 about asexuality through my book, website, and channel. A damaging myth is that celibacy or abstaining is what asexuality is, when that simply isn't true. This is what I wish would be changed. This is one of the things that I personally wish would be changed about asexuality, and this is myths. Do you know what I mean? Like this, damaging myths. Choosing celibacy or abstaining from sex is definitely not the same thing. Those people still experience sexual attraction and are just holding back and forcing themselves / purposely programming themselves to refrain from sex and hold back their sexual desires and instincts. Pure asexuals don't have those desires or instincts within them in the first place. And they put, I 100% agree with you, and I love the way you own your identity and all the work you had put into this. It is just amazing. So that's nice. That's really nice. So I will give them my heart back to that, because that is really, really sweet. So, well, I gave them a smiley face. So that's nice. Yeah. So, because you know what I mean? It's, you know, people thinking that all asexuals want to be single is a little rubbish, or that they should be single. That's another thing that I wish would be changed about people's perception of asexuality. You know, just because you don't want sex doesn't mean to say you don't want a relationship. So many people in the world just define a relationship by the amount of sex you are or aren't having. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Ludicrous. You know, there's plenty of people that are together, even married, that never have sex for years or months on end. They don't go, oh, well, we're not in a relationship anymore. Ludicrous, people. Ludicrous. Right, Jen Mullen's story. If you could have one wish about being asexual, what would it be and why? I just want allies to stop trying to claim the A. The whole point of LGBT is that we aren't straight. Don't get me wrong, allies are great. I just want them to stop trying to pretend they're more important than an entire orientation. And technically, the A can be for asexual, aromantic, agender, and androgynous. So there's not really any more room to share. I feel that allies get enough attention. It's time to put focus on actual LGBT plus people. I think the A should stand for all the identities that are actually queer, asexual, aromantic, agender, androgynous. I guess one reason other than it feels wrong to include allies is that saying LGBT plus is a way of differentiating us from straight allies. So I would much rather say LGBT and allies rather than include them in the acronym itself. There was debate, obviously, about this type of thing a few days ago, whether A stands for asexual. I did interview someone from Pride Matters, the founder of Pride Matters, who isn't asexual. And he does a blog and things about all different sexualities. And I interviewed him for my book, you know, and he does say the A is for asexual. That's how he came to know about asexuality. He's gay himself. Homosexual, not heterosexual. Yeah, he's gay, so not asexual at all. But yeah, so personally, I don't define myself as queer whatsoever. So again, you know, if you feel LGBT and queer fit you, use it. If you don't, then don't use it. But I get what they're saying about the A standing for allies, is that, you know, that because straight people and sexual people, basically allosexuals, get enough attention, they feel that the A shouldn't be for allies at all, stand for them, because it's not really fair, because they don't need to be amongst the minorities when they're already a majority. That's what they're trying to say. So that's a very interesting point of view about one wish you could have about being asexual. So about asexuality, here we go. Cassie's story now. If you could have one wish about being asexual, what would it be and why? I suppose it would be just the ability to be able to understand what exactly it is sexual people feel that makes everything work the way it does. because I hate not understanding things, and sexual attraction seems to be a very important building block upon which most of our society rests. So yeah, some asexuals are absolutely fascinated as to what sexual attraction is. They wonder what it'd be like to experience it. So there's sex repulsed asexuals, those that want nothing to do with sex. They can be touch averse. They can be so repulsed they don't want to hear the word sex. They don't want anything to do with it. Makes the whole person feel sick. They don't want to have any friends that talk about this type of thing. They just want to get away with it, away from it all the time, Then you've got people like me who are sex repulsed for themselves but not other people. I'm okay if other people want sex. It's consensual. They enjoy it. I have no problem with that whatsoever. And then you get sex people that are favourable, asexuals that are sex favourable. You get asexuals that are sex indifferent. They're not bothered whether they have it one way or the other, or whether they hear about it or not. And then you get asexuals, that are very, very positive, don't mind having sex and everything. Oh, hi, Martin. Oh, you're in this book. I might read your story out in a bit. I was wondering if you turn up, because I was thinking I haven't read. I don't think I've read any of yours yet, but I was thinking about that the other day, so it's lovely to see you. So yeah, I think some people who are asexual are genuinely fascinated about sex, as in Cassie is, because they really are thinking, like, what is it the big deal about? And it's such a big deal in society that you kind of think, what is the deal? I don't get it. I still don't really get the big deal with sex. I understand it to a certain degree, but I don't get it as in, not interested. Well, yeah, that 5 Mark Twain guy is totally the best. I'm going to read Juanita's out first, and then I'll go to yours. So, Juanita, if you could have one wish about being asexual, what would it be and why? That there would be more demisexual people in the world who realise sex is not the most important thing in the world. That kindness, platonic love, compassion, and love that is patient is more common than wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. So that's really interesting, because Juanita is obviously on the asexual spectrum and demisexual is on the asexual spectrum. So in their experience, demisexuals do actually rate sex as very highly important, more than kindness, platonic love and compassion. They've obviously had some bad experiences in that respect. I know some demisexuals, I think some demisexuals can live without sex and others can't. So as soon as they have those emotional bond with that person and they're emotionally invested in them and the bond grows, they just want sex like any other allosexual would, but there are some that can refrain from having it and don't need it. But that's why it's very important, if you are on an asexual dating site or ASAP, and if you are interested in dating an asexual and they're demisexual, you need to ask them up front, are you demisexual that needs sex in a relationship or not? Because if you're a sex repulsed asexual and they get bonded to you and they want sex with you, it could be very, very emotionally upsetting and painful, if you've got some attachment for them. So make sure that, you ask them up front. It's so important. I'm trying to see if I can remember your actual, I'm trying to see if I can remember your page number without actually looking. I don't think I can. I better look through the book. Page numbers. Right. Martin, what's your page number? Do you know off the top of your head? Probably not. There we go. 405. 405. Da, da, da. It's the A team, people. It's the A team. Right. Hopefully you've answered this question in here, because I know some of the questions weren't. Here we go. Some of the questions weren't compulsory, but this one was. If you could have one wish about being asexual, what would it be and why? That people were more understanding of the sexual orientation, including homosexuality and bisexuality, but mainly asexual, since there's less talked about. Now, I do think that's a really good point. Like, I read out what I put on Facebook in a group, earlier, because, people mistake celibacy for asexuality. and they think every asexual wants to be single, which is simply not the case. Do you know what I mean? So it can be very, very damaging, you know, very, very damaging. What have I done with my iPad? Oh, I put it here. So, you know, I read out the comment I did, but I didn't actually show you the picture. I've got to be careful because I can't actually show you the persons. I can't show you the group because that wouldn't be right, okay? I can't show you anyone in the group. I'm trying to cover it up so I can just literally show you what they've put about. I don't know if you can see that. Let me cover it up. So at the very, very bottom, so they've put about asexual. Can you see that? Under 7, they've put in there about asexual / celibacy, right? At the very bottom. So, you know, like, it's the same thing. And so, like Martin, I also want there to be greater understanding of asexuality. But, you know, there should be a lot more understanding about different sexualities in general. I've said this before on the channel, I'll say it again, you know, this is the 21st century we live in. If people are not, who is you know, allosexuals, those that are not asexual, if they are looking to date and get into a relationship, particularly heterosexuals, right? If they are excluding, like, people that are not heterosexual themselves because they don't ask them, then they are actually using out themselves. So what I mean by that is, if they're heterosexual, they think everyone else is heterosexual, right? And they seem to think that anyone who's not heterosexual is wrong or weird or strange, or they ignore them or make fun of them, right? But they are not helping themselves, because if they want sex with someone, right? Like I said the other day, you know, if there's a heterosexual guy, for example, they want sex and they're talking to a woman who's attracted to other women because they're really a lesbian, but they haven't even thought about that, then they could be wasting their absolute time. Well, they will be, obviously, if they're lesbian. Obviously, if they were bisexual or pansexual, it might be different, because they might, you know, they're going to be attracted to guys as well, usually, as one of their genders, but not necessarily, because bi is attracted to 2 genders. They could be attracted to, you know, trans people, gender fluid people, do you know what I mean? Non-binary. So, you know what I'm saying? It's very vital that we get asexuality recognised literally globally, so that more sexuals understand this, and more heterosexuals in particular understand asexuality and understand how it varies and how different it is. But they should be understanding, you know, of LGBT people, like lesbians, gays, bisexuals, you know, because if they are on dating sites and they just think everyone is straight all the time, straight heterosexual, they are very misguided. They are very, like, you know, it's like they are thinking they've got this pool of like hundreds of people, when actual reality is they've got less than they think they have, because those people wouldn't be attracted to them in the first place. And they haven't even considered that, because they go around with blinkers on. They only want to listen and think about what they are personally comfortable with, you know, which is usually their own kind of heterosexuals. You know, I feel more comfortable around asexuals, my own kind of people, but I still understand, accept the fact there's sexuals in the world. You know, my best female friend, who I'm seeing in the morning, well, this morning, in a few hours time, I've got to get up because it's only 2 a.m. here. I'll be up at 8 a.m. So I'm meeting my best female friend who I haven't seen for months. Yeah, so she's not asexual at all, you know, but that's what I mean. I'm friends with people that aren't asexual as well, you know, but it's very vital that sexuals understand there's more than just straight heterosexuals in the world, and to include that in their dating relationship search, you know, be very mindful of it, actually ask what someone's sexual orientation is, rather than just completely assume all the time, you know. You know, when I'm on asexual dating sites, I sometimes ask the person, you know, if it's not clear if they're interested in guys or girls, I ask them. I'm like, well, which gender are you actually attracted to? You know? Martin, oh yeah, I don't think I've spoken to you much myself since this whole virus stuff started. No, you haven't, Martin. we haven't spoken much at all for a long time. No, I put you in touch with someone though, didn't I? another asexual, which I think has been good. They wrote me and said that they've been speaking to you about Pokemon stuff, so that's good. But yeah, I think that's about the only contact we've had, I think. Oh, bless you. But yeah, I think you're getting on well with them from what I know. So yes, shall I read one more person's out? One more person's. Yeah, I think that might have been the only thing we've mentioned is the friend. Yeah. Yes. I know they wrote to me and said that you two are getting on well. You know, you chat whenever you can, but you're on different work schedules, they said. So they said that that's sometimes a bit difficult for you both because you're both on different work schedules. So but they're really happy that I put you in touch because I think, you know, you do have stuff in common, which is great. I'm going to see if there's another person's answer in here. A wish about being asexual. There should be another person's. Okay, this is Zoe's. This is very brief. So if you could have one wish about being asexual, what would it be and why? I wish it would be easier to find a special someone who is also an asexual. Asexuals get as lonely as anyone else. Yes. I wish that I could find my asexual soulmate. I have to say that. Right? And I wish for every person who's asexual, who wants to be in a relationship, to find their special person. You know, I wish that more asexuals were proactive when it comes to dating and relationships. I wish more asexuals would consider moving or traveling for a relationship, or would be, you know, looking for a mover. You know, I wish more asexuals would reveal that identity to themselves and to the world so that we have more choice of being able to find a special someone for us, because it's really hard. You know, I've been looking for my asexual soulmate now since 2014. I won't give up. I know he's out there. I categorically know he's out there. I won't give up. There are thousands and thousands of asexuals. There are people finding out they're asexual all the time, you know, but a lot of them aren't out, and it doesn't help them, and it doesn't help the general asexuality population, you know, because unless these people come out, we don't know they're asexual. You know, how are you supposed to find your partner if either they don't know they're asexual, which isn't their fault, or they want to keep it silent? You know, if you really want to find the love of your life, you've got to come out as asexual at some point in your life. You know, be bold, be brave to get the love of your life. It's very important, you know, very important. And I wish genuinely that every asexual could find their special person. And if it's just a platonic relationship you're after, if you're asexual, or you just want a really, really bestest ever friend, another asexual that understand you, I wish that for you as well. Because I do think it helps when you're around people of your own kind. You know, people that understand you, people that, you know, you can relate to, people that you can feel comfortable around without any sexual innuendo. People that you can just, you know, really love. Hello, Megan. Oh, thanks for the thumbs up. Hello, Sandra. I'm in a relationship now. Oh, wow. That was quick. Well, congratulations to you. Is it the guy that you liked? Because I know you told me you liked a guy who was actually asexual as well. Is it the asexual guy that you liked? Yeah, Martin says hello. Thank you so much for the thumbs up. I love Megan. As soon as she comes on the channel, she gives me a thumbs up. Thank you. And the heart as well, and the smiley. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much. If anyone else wants to give a thumbs up, I'd really appreciate that. So congratulations to you. I want to know if it's a guy that you were talking about to me in private message on Twitter. Because I'm really pleased for you. Yeah, and I was just talking about, you know, that this person Zoe is saying if they could have one wish about being asexual, what would it be and why? And they wish, oh, thanks for the thumbs up. Mwah! Lots of love to you. And it was, I wish it could be easier to find a special someone who's also asexual. Asexuals get lonely as anyone else. And I do agree, you know, like, it's really important. Like, I have best asexual friends. Well, I have a best asexual friend. One of my friends who was asexual discovered they're not actually asexual, but they're still my best friend as well. And, you know, it's just incredible. It's incredible, you know, but we're not suitable romantically. And I've got other friends as well that are asexual, you know. Megan, thank you. And sadly, no. But I've been spending time with friends and developing a crush on one of my friends. Ah, right. Okay. Okay. So, wow. Are they not asexual then, or are they asexual? I'm guessing not asexual. If that anyway, I wish you the best of luck. Let us know how it goes, and remember, keep being you. Oh, they are asexual. They are asexual or not? Sorry. I should have asked the question, are they asexual or not asexual? Just write are asexual, not asexual would be best. But yeah, I wish you really, 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 really lots of joy and happiness with that, you know, and keep being you. You know, you're beautiful. Don't forget that. It's very important. You know, very, very important. So yeah, I do wish that everyone would find their special person. Like, it's going to take me a long time to find my guy, right? Because I'm very specific, but I do believe he's out there. I believe he is out there. Right? I just ultimately believe that. You know, you have to believe that the right person's out there for you, because if you don't believe that, you'll give up. I can't give up. I'm not a giver-upper. I just never give up. Even if I temporarily suspend actively pursuing, I still never give up. And even when I stop actively pursuing, I'm still kind of like reaching out to people. Which is nearly the same as actively pursuing, but I'm just not making a big deal of it and doing it as much as I used to. I think we should have another person in here. Let's see. Right, Kenneth Williams' story. If you could have one wish about being asexual, what would it be and why? That more people understood and accepted it as a real thing, more than just as someone who hasn't had good sex or as a sexual who can't get laid. Yeah, that is really, really, really like eek, isn't it? You know, when some people think that asexuality isn't a real sexual orientation, and like I was saying earlier in this video, you know, when they start saying, oh, you know, I appreciate your choice. That is something that really infuriates me. It's not like I chose to be asexual. I didn't know I was asexual for years. If I'd have known I was asexual years ago, it would have helped me a lot, but I didn't know, you know. Therefore, I didn't choose it. It chose me, you know. And I was born that way, this way, and didn't realise it. So it's very, very frustrating when you know, they just don't understand, basically. It's very, very frustrating, you know. So I do wish more people would accept it, but my mission is, as you know, if you watch this channel, to get asexuality recognised as a sexual orientation globally, so that no asexual has to live in fear of ridicule ever again. It is a very, very big thing to do, but I'm still going to be working on doing it. It's my mission, it's my plan, it's one of my life purposes. First life purpose is writing, followed very closely by asexuality and this mission. Megan, we found the dark side and got the cookies or garlic bread. Sorry, Megan, I'm laughing because I don't understand what that means. What have I missed? Have I missed something out of that conversation? We found the dark side and got the cookies or garlic bread. Do you mean dark side as in they're not asexual? Because I've talked about going over to the dark side. Like when we found out we're ace. Oh, you're both ace then. Or are you talking about us on this channel? Sorry. My mind's a bit like loopy tonight. Have you noticed? It's a bit off on tangents. You mean as in all of us asexuals, we found the dark side and not the cookies? In general, thanks, Megan. We found the dark side and got the cookies or garlic bread. Like when we found out we're ace. Ah, right, okay. Like garlic bread, garlic keeps away vampires and stuff. Is that right? Is that what you mean? I think I get you now. Sorry. It's like 2 a.m. in the morning here. So my mind's a bit like whoop whoop at this time in the morning. But I didn't have my food till like my evening meals had gone midnight. So I've been working on the asexual courses, actually. Yeah, it's funny. My mind gets a bit whoop whoop after a while. So yes. So this is quite interesting. Like, let's see if I can find another one, because I'm liking this topic. It's very good. 2 a.m. in the morning, you're turning into me, laugh out loud. Well, Martin, I've streamed at like this time before. But you know, the thing is with me is I like working at night. The problem I have is that I used to do this stream at 11 p.m. ideally, or between 11 and midnight. But the problem is my most creative and work mostly at night. So I'm busy, working, carrying on my work, and then I have to stop to go in the shower, eat food, and stream. And so it's a bit difficult for me because I didn't start work tonight this evening till just after 6 p.m. and I did work till about 10:40, I think it was. So yeah, so it's like I want to carry on working, but I can't because I need to do my stream for you guys as well, because I'm most creative at night. So, you know, it works out best for me to keep going. But I didn't, you know, and then one of my friends I needed to speak to because they'd had the bit of upset. So I was messaging them. So, but yeah, so yeah, it's kind of crazy. And I can't be too long in the stream tonight because I'm meeting my best non-asexual friend, female, soon in this morning, you know, which is exciting because I haven't seen them for months during lockdown. You know, we're in July 2020 when I'm recording this. Martin, 2 a.m. already implies morning, laugh it out. That's what I meant. I usually say it sarcastically, though, to be fair. Oh, right, okay. Oh, dear, yes. Sometimes it's best for me not to talk or say anything when I'm in the La La Land. Right, Nikki's story. If you could have one wish about being asexual, what would it be and why? It would be that asexuality was a better known and better understood thing. There are people, even people very close to me, who I have not told about my asexuality, since it would be difficult to task them to get them to understand. Since it would be a difficult task to get them to understand. Not through any failing on their part, but simply because they have never heard of this before. So yeah, what they're saying is it's very hard work to try and get people to understand when they've never heard of it before. And it can be really difficult, you know, really difficult. You know, I mean, I had in this group, this entrepreneur group the other day, I had someone saying, "Oh, you're delusional." It's like, no, I'm not delusional. I didn't reply back to that. There's no point in replying to stupid comments like that because they're not willing to accept you. They're not gonna, you know, they're not gonna be changed. They either, you know, listen to what you say in the group and change their mind, or they don't change their mind at all. So I just ignore it because people like that aren't worth my time. And you have to understand this, you know, if you've got people that are being really nasty to you or horrible about your asexuality, just walk away. Just don't react to them, you know, because that's what they want. They want a reaction out of you. So if you feel when you know someone's messaging in comments, if you feel you've got a good argument, a constructive argument, you know, and you can put your point across without getting aggressive, even though you might feel like screaming at them, and you know, and you feel you can do it strongly and positively and confidently, go for goal, which is what I do a lot of the time. But there's certain people in groups that, you know, aren't accepting of what I'm saying. And those are the people a lot of the time that, you know, I just leave. But there are some people whose minds do change. There's some people's minds that, you know, change from being negative to being more positive, which is good. But I can't make them do that. It's only the way I speak, you know. And I'm very, very comfortable and confident. Like this person did say their nice comment, you know, when I said asexuality is not the same as celibacy. You know, because I was quite taken, you know, I was quite peed off, to be honest, that they put, you know, asexuality / celibacy in this, you know, asexual group, asexual group, this non-asexual group I'm in. I think it's time for me to go sleep in a minute. You know, and I put the, you know, that it's a damaging myth is that celibacy or abstaining is what asexual is, when that simply isn't true, you know. And I think it's very, very important, you know. They did listen to what I said. You know, I read this out earlier. on the stream that they, I said choosing celibacy or abstaining from sex is definitely not the same thing. Those people still experience sexual attraction and are just holding back and forcing themselves, purposely programming themselves to refrain from sex and hold back from their sexual desires and instincts. And it's really, really, really important to understand that people who are celibate or who are abstaining and are not asexual, they still experience sexual attraction. They're purposely holding themselves back. Asexuals don't have those instincts. Pure asexuals, if you're talking about asexuals, there's I love all asexuals in the asexual spectrum, but those, there's some with grey areas that do experience sexual attraction under limited, rare, or specific circumstances, and not enough to want to act on it. But if we talk in broad terms and we talk about pure asexuals, if you like, the ones that don't experience any sexual attraction at all, they're not holding themselves back from having sex. They don't have the sexual instincts and desires and needs in the first place that sexuals do. We're not like chaining ourselves up and saying, oh, when we're stopping ourselves having sex, it's not some trauma or some bad experience, or we've chosen this, or we've just given ourselves a label for the hell of it. Do you know what I mean? Like on a soup can or something. It's just ridiculous. Asexuality is a general sexual orientation, genuine sexual orientation. I just wish that was more well known about. I wish that was more understood. I wish people would accept it more. There's much work still to be done, because really we've got to get through to sexuals, heterosexuals in particular, because LGBT people, quite a number of those now know about asexuality. Whatever their attitude is, they still know about it, but a lot of heterosexuals still don't know about it. And when they hear about it, it's like some really weird thing they've heard of, like, like whenever I post in dating groups, I do get a lot of people looking and comment on my post, one of the most popular posts in there, because they're like, oh, you don't like sex? Oh my God, it's like a catastrophe. It's like some person's just like, done a huge surprise and jumped out of them or something. Do you know what I mean? Which I suppose it is to them. They're like, what? You know what I mean? It's like they can't comprehend it. It's like they have a meltdown. And I wish that, people would just be more open, understanding. There are some people in this group, though, that are open and understanding. They're people that try to know about it, This person said, I 100% agree with you, and I love the way you own your identity and all the work that you have put into this. It's just amazing, for helping asexuals, basically, because I told them I got a channel and a book, and I help asexuals for almost 5 years now. So, basically I'm trying to say I know what I'm talking about. That's why it is good, when I go into groups, I know that I've got years of experience of talking about asexuality. I know what it is. So I know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? So they can't really say too much to me. If they do, I just think it's ridiculous and I just ignore it a lot of the time. I mean, obviously I read it and think that's not very nice, if they say delusional and stuff like that. But I don't let it faze me, because I know that I'm asexual. I know I was born asexual, even though I didn't realise it at the time. And I've been helping asexuals for years. Megan, they also act like the world will suddenly stop being populated by more humans. Oh yeah, what is it with that? They're like, they're like, oh, I had one guy who was Indian actually, and he's like, oh, I want to keep the bloodline going. I want a baby. And like, and I want to keep the bloodline. What is it with people? I want to keep the bloodline going. It's like there's thousands and thousands of people that have babies. You don't have to be one of them. You know what I mean? It's like, you know what I mean? It's like, and people can't comprehend why you don't want children. I've never wanted kids since I've been 15 years old. I have to say I'm grateful to my parents that I'm here, though. I'm grateful they had sex, because if they hadn't, I wouldn't even be here, would I? Do you know what I mean? So that's the only thing that I have to remind myself, being asexual, because I forget sometimes. I'm like, oh, if two people didn't have sex, Andrew, you wouldn't actually be here right now. So I've got to be grateful to sex for something. Do you know what I mean? I wasn't even supposed to be here. My parents weren't supposed to have any more kids. So they had one, but, well, my mum lost one a long time ago. I don't really, it's not for me to talk about that on here, but, basically they weren't supposed to have a kid after that. But yeah, they had me. So woohoo! I'm a special baby, which was nice. So yeah, so I wasn't even meant to be here. So just goes to show you, doesn't it? If I wasn't here right now, then I wouldn't be able to help asexuals. and fulfill my life mission. So yeah, it's really weird how they do kind of like freak out that a person doesn't want kids and doesn't want to keep the population going. And so many people don't understand why, I don't want marriage. I mean, I know in lots of culture you can get marriage of convenience, but I'm not being funny, but I would never, ever, if I don't want to get married anyway, but if I ever did, I would only marry for love. I could never marry for a marriage of convenience. I mean, I just couldn't do it. I can't fathom why. I mean, know why, religious reasons and cultural reasons, but I can't actually consciously fathom why someone could do that. How could someone get married to someone who doesn't love their partner? To me, love is, like on whatever level you should love that person, not just do it for the sake of religion or cultural reasons. It's just like, I see some people who want to be in a relationship with an asexual person and they're gay and they want to cover up their gayness and marry an asexual person to cover it up. I just think that's so using the asexual person. I think that's very, very, very wrong, Why should people be used like that? Why use an asexual? It's kind of like, oh, you're asexual. You don't want sex, so I'll have you. And then I can cover up my gayness. It's like, I think it's disgusting. I don't like anyone being used. I especially don't like asexuals being used, I just think that's totally wrong. Totally wrong. I mean, there's obviously people who do it, but there's one website in the UK and it's full of that. It's full of people who want marriage of convenience and these guys want to marry a lesbian or an asexual person to cover up the fact they're gay. I mean, it's not going to stop them being gay. And just think of that person, It's like, don't you want to marry for love? Don't you want to wake up with the love of your life and actually look into their eyes and think, God, I really love you. You're so beautiful. I really want to be with you because I love you. I love spending time with you. I love your smile. I love your hair. I love your face. I love the way you smile. I love the way you move your eyes. I love the way you move your legs. I love the way you are. I love your aura. I love being around you. Do you know what I mean? It's like, where is the love? People, where is the love? And it just shocks me. I had someone apply to be in my asexual no sex dating group who was Indian actually. And they're like, oh, I was asking them, because I wasn't 100% sure they were asexual. And then they were saying, I said, well, like, where, you didn't answer questions. Where do you fall on the asexual spectrum? And then they said, oh, I'm looking for a marriage of convenience, because what else would it be when you're two asexuals? And I just thought that's such a damaging attitude and bad attitude to have. It's like, why should it just be a convenience if it's two asexuals? You can still love, you can still be romantic, you can still be passionate together, you can still care about one another, just because you're asexual. And this was coming from another supposed asexual person. Sorry, not long since eaten. Excuse me, I do it, pardon me. And it's like, how can they do that? How can they be saying, oh, well, if it's too asexual, what else is it but of convenience? It's like, come on, people. Asexuals are real people. They can love. They have feelings. They care. They have wants. They have needs. They have desires just as much as anyone else does, They have a huge desire for connection, a huge desire for companionship, a lot of them, not all. Even the introverts do tend to need some companionship and do, even especially after the lockdown situation, there's quite a few people that are introverted that realise, that even though they're introverted, they still do need some human contact. They still do need to get out. Oh, thanks for the thumbs up. Lots of love to you. They still need to, be around people of their own kind. They still need that in-person warmth, It's very, very important. And I just think that no one, should be marrying someone based on their sexuality for it to be a convenience, I think it should just be based on pure love, and it certainly shouldn't be to cover up things, It's like, how deceiving is that? But how would it be? I mean, I wouldn't want a guy just marrying me who's really gay. like, it's like, because I'm not able to marry someone, or I don't want marriage anyway, or be in a relationship with someone who would be the love of my life. It's like you're denying that person their right to have the relationship they want because you want to cover up your own sexuality. You know, to me, that's so morally wrong in the very least, you know? It's like, I want to be cherished and loved for who I am, you know? And like I say, if you're with the wrong person, then the right one won't come along. So it's very, very important that you spend time getting to know that person, know if they're the right person for you. But if you're just having a, you know, if some people are gay and they're using asexuals in this way to just have a marriage of convenience to cover up the gayness, how is this fair to the asexual person? Some asexuals really want a relationship. And I worry that some asexuals will think, well, I can't get a relationship because I'm asexual. I can't find someone, so I may as well settle for this person and this convenience of marriage. Never settle, people. Never settle. Just because you're asexual doesn't mean to say you're not as important and as beautiful as any other sexuality. You know, and you deserve someone who loves you and cares about you for who you are. Yes, you might meet someone who's not exactly what you thought they might be like. You know, you might have a picture of someone with blonde hair, blue eyes, and certain look, right? Or certain status, or not, as the case might be, you know. And you might have them picture living a certain place, you know, and they might not be like that, right? But they still love and care about you, still get on like a house on fire, they're still good for you, right? That's great. But you know, you don't want to be getting into a relationship with someone where you are just settling because you think, oh, I can't get someone, I can't get another person for me because I'm asexual, so therefore I may as well settle for this person's offer of convenience because I can't find anyone else and I don't want to be lonely, you know? Megan, yeah, and by settling with the person who doesn't truly love you, they could end up hurting you in some way. Exactly, Megan, exactly. Especially if they're continuing their gay relationship, so they're having you at home, basically, and then they're going out and having their sex with their guy in secret. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like, or obviously if they're a lesbian, they're having another lesbian, but these are guys that I'm talking about, the ones that I've seen, guys who are gay into other guys and then asking for women to marry them who are lesbian or asexual. That's who I'm specifically talking about in this reference, you know. And you know, it's just you're cutting yourself off from the possibility of actually getting the relationship of your dreams, you know. Like, I don't care if it takes me the next 10 years to find the right guy for me. I will still remain single until I find that right person. Because I want the right person for me. They will be worth the wait. Do you know what I mean? And in the meantime, I've got lots of stuff I can preoccupy myself with as well. And I think for any good relationship, you've got to be friends with them for a very long time anyway. That's what the foundation is for a loving, healthy, happy relationship. Whatever sexuality you are, you know? Because if you're not friends with them, you don't understand them. When things crop up that you weren't expecting, you'll go into panic mode and you'll get anxious and stuff, especially if you've got an anxious personality. Obviously, if you're quite carefree, you probably won't matter. But if you've got an anxious personality, you know, you need to know that person a lot. I have an anxious personality, so I need to get to know someone very, very well before I jump into with them, you know. And the mistake I made in the past is I've jumped into a relationship far too quickly and didn't know the person. Right, I have to acknowledge that I might have feelings for someone very early on, but I now can refrain from actually getting into a relationship because I'd rather wait to know that person's the right person. I mean, usually early on when I'm talking to guys on ASAP or asexual dating site, I'm establishing early on what type of person they are, what type of relationship they're looking for, what things we have in common or don't. You know, I'm talking to 2 guys on ASAP at the moment, both in the UK, but neither of them are suitable for a relationship with me. One of them, there isn't any romantic attraction between us, and the other one I do like a lot. He's part Indian, but you know, we're completely different people, so that wouldn't work out. And we want different types of things in a relationship, but they're a really nice person to talk to. Martin, that's what I'd prefer to do. Get to know someone before dating them. Better to know them beforehand rather than rushing into it and getting hurt. Yeah, exactly, Martin. It's very, very important. I've done it a lot in my life. I've rushed into something and got hurt a lot, and I don't need that anymore in my life, you know. I'd rather keep my options open for Megan said exactly. I'd rather keep my options open and become friends with guys who might possibly be suitable, you know, in some way, shape, or form, than, you know, than give my heart and soul to someone I don't even know, you know. I don't want to do that anymore. Megan agrees with that, you know. It's very, very, very good. It's very, very good, you know. And I think, you know, it takes time, you know, to get to know someone, to get to know how you'd work together, you know. And I think it's important to know that you can have any type of relationship you want, you know. There's someone for everyone, you know. I look forward to being with my Indian guy. I look forward to waking up next to him, even though I say that I don't want to live with someone. I keep seeing him in the same bed as me, like me talking to him and cuddling him, which is really nice. And you know, I will wait for him and he'll find me, I'm sure, one day, you know. And so I really look forward to that. And I keep knowing that it doesn't really matter what guy comes into my life, especially if they're not Indian at all, then they're not really going to be suitable anyway, because I don't feel I could be with anyone but an Indian guy, because my soulmate's Indian. I've known that since 2014, categorically. My intuition tells me this. My intuition's very, 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 very astute and spot on. Usually, if it's slightly off, it'd be something like the guy looks like he's Indian or he's in a neighbouring country. So occasionally it can be slightly off, but my intuition is usually really good. And so, you know, I think it's good to go with your gut instinct as well. I think, you know, that's something that isn't talked about really in relationships and dating. You know, do you think, thanks for the thumbs up, do you think, you know, that person's right for you in your gut feeling? Do you feel comfortable around them? Do you feel at ease around them? Do you feel like you could tell them anything and everything and you know they won't get angry with you? Do you feel like it doesn't matter what you say, you could never cause them to cause them to cause you pain? So a healthy relationship should be when you can tell someone your true feelings, thoughts, and emotions, knowing that they're not going to like lynch at you, they're not going to shout at you, they're not going to get angry with you. You can tell them anything, good things and bad things. And a person who's good for your relationship should be good at telling you every tiny little detail. Nothing should be a lie, right? I met this guy in ASAP recently, and you know, he was not telling the truth about his month of, you know, when he was born in. And he's like, oh, that's a little technical difficulty that you're blowing way out, you know, like you're basically blowing out of proportion, you know, you're overreacting, that type of thing. And it's like, excuse me? And he said some other stuff, and I just like, I've ended that. You know, it's a shame because he had potential in the beginning. I thought he was a nice person, and then as the conversation went on, I thought he was, you know, being rude and stuff, kind of patronizing, belittling. He was saying stuff that simply wasn't true. He doesn't even know me, you know, about, oh, you know, your friends won't even be there for you in the worst of times, you know, they're not true friends. It's like, excuse me, I do have good friends. I've got 3 best friends. You don't even know who I am. But you just started talking, you know, and that's not nice, because it kind of manipulates someone's mind into thinking they can never get true friends. You know, I've got 3 best friends who have all been there for me in my worst times, every single one of them. Every single one of them. You know, they've been with me my best times and my worst times. I'm really pleased. I didn't have that in the past, but I do now, you know. I do now. And, you know, that person just clearly didn't know me, and they decided to give me a lecture. It's like, you obviously don't follow my channel for the last 5 years, you know. So yeah, I let them go. So sometimes you have to let people go. I wish him well on his journey, you know. I think he's got a lot of things to learn in the next 10 years. I think, you know, I think he thinks he knows everything, but really I think he's got a lot to learn. And I hope he gets the help he wants, you know, because there's, you know, there was, you know, like, if you've got the mindset that no people are ever going to be your friends in the worst times, everyone's going to leave you, then you're going to end up having that happen, because you're going to push it forward in your mind. That did, you know, in my past, I didn't have proper friends. So they, you know, they weren't good friends, right? But now I've got really good, healthy friendships. And people go out their way. Like my friend tomorrow, well, today now, in a few hours this morning, she is coming and traveling to see me. Especially, she's got other friends she needs to see in another town, in her old hometown, but she's coming specifically to spend a few hours with me in my city. She doesn't have to do that. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of partly out of her way. But, you know, she's coming to do that because she knows I like quality time with her, you know, and she's done it before. I mean, once I was being bullied at my old job, right? Which I'm so glad I don't work there anymore. And the guy was narcissistic and it was horrible. And I had to have 2 weeks off sick. And she was there for me. You know, I was feeling really down. I was like noticing myself going backwards. You know, I stopped being depressed in 2012, but I noticed, you know, that I was really sinking slowly, like it was pulling me that way more, you know, and I was really not in a good way. And she came and she was doing a job, well, she was doing, I think she was doing more than one job at the time, and you know, she was working really early and in the morning, and then she came and she like traveled on a bus, traveled on a train, walked, then got you know, then did that back, got a taxi. I think she got a taxi home as well, you know. And so, you know, she's been there for me when things have really, really been bad, you know. And so I appreciate her from the bottom of my heart, you know. My friend Sam has been there for me so much during the lockdown, you know. Very, very caring, compassionate friend. We've really been there for each other. My friend Andy, me and them have been, you know, well, they are a he actually. We have been there for each other as well through these times, and you know, they've both, and all three of them, been there for me. So, you know, I think when someone's in a bad place, when someone's depressed themselves and comes from a place of lack and of poor mindset, and people like, you know, like not being able to be trusted around them and stuff, I think that they can have this mindset. But you have to understand that if you're looking for stuff like that, you're going to find it. So it's much better to try and, you know, like find people who really genuinely love and care about you, who are trustworthy. You know, I can pick up on the fact if anyone's telling any little lies to me. Once someone's told a little lie, that's it. Lies are lies to me. I want a guy who's 100% honest with me. I don't want any little lies. Nothing. No white lies, no lies. Just nothing. As soon as they've told one lie, I'm like, what else will you tell? You know, I said to this guy, well, what if you look over the little technicalities, as you call it, what type of guy are you like going to be like to be in a relationship with? He didn't understand that. You know, it's like, you're not going to be a good guy. And he's like, oh, you're overreacting. If someone's telling you you're overreacting, you're not even in a relationship with them, how do you think the relationship's going to be? As rocky as hell. You know what I mean? No one has the right to speak to you like that, really. You know what I mean? It's much better you find someone who you can actually talk to, is compassionate and kind, and doesn't, you know, he's the one line about his birth month, and yet making me out to be the person who's not good, which isn't true, you know. And the country, he said he lived in the UK, he doesn't even live in the UK at the moment. Do you know what I mean? He said he's coming back next year, so that's another lie. So yeah, don't, you know, people that lie is no good. Just cut it off. It's sad because I've met some people and I think, oh, you seem quite nice, but clearly not. Because you know, if this is what they're like in the beginning, just think what they're going to be like in like 3 months, 4 months, a year. You don't want to be with someone like that. You don't want to be with someone who's, you know, you know, just fighting against you all the time and thinking they know best. You know, it's just not pleasant. You know, I wish them well. I'm sure they'll find someone who's suitable for them. Just, I said, me and them are not a good match. You know what I mean? And that's the thing, you know, you can come across people in your life that maybe aren't a good match for you, but maybe they're really perfect match for someone else, because the someone else is on their wavelength, is on their vibe. You know, some people don't mind little. I don't call any lies little. Every lie to me is important, and people shouldn't be lying whatsoever. I'm very, very completely honest person, right? There's not many completely honest people in the world, so I've been told. But, you know, I want someone like me who's got high integrity. And I said to him, it doesn't meet my standards. I've got higher standards than that, you know? And I think it's very important to know there's someone for everyone, because, you know, different people are at different standards in life. Some people don't mind little white lies, you know, they think that's perfectly fine. I personally don't, you know, it's not a good quality person. You know, they lie about one thing, what else are they going to lie about? You know, it's no good. But you've got to work out for yourself what type of person you want, you know? You've got to work out what a good relationship is to you. Martin, I've got to be off now. Sorry. Hopefully I'll be able to join during the next few days. See you soon. Yeah, I've got to go really, because I've got my friend that I'm seeing soon. So it's nice to see you, Martin. Lots of love as always to you. Thanks for the thumbs up. I appreciate it. So yeah, the main message is, you know, to get into a healthy, loving, happy relationship. And if you're asexual, please just don't settle. You know, if I could have one wish about asexuality, it would be obviously for it to be recognized globally as a sexual orientation in its own right, which is my mission. It would be that asexuals don't live in fear of ridicule ever again, which is part of that mission. It would be that asexuals could more easily find someone for a loving, healthy, happy relationship without sex, you know, or if they're sex positive asexual and they don't mind having sex, just find someone who's right for them. You know, I wish every asexual person, if they want to be in a relationship, to find a good, healthy, happy, loving relationship with them. If they just want friends, I wish them to find the best friends ever, because I've got best friends now and I didn't have that before. And that's what I wish. I wish people on their journey to be very happy, to be very good, you know. I wish that guy that I was talking about, I wish him to find good quality friends. So then for he won't be so thinking like that anymore, you know. And I wish everyone to just be happy with their own self and their asexuality, you know, whatever nuances that brings, you know, whether you're asexual is completely touch repulsed, sex averse, hate any type of physical contact, or whether you're an asexual that loves exploring the body, you know, whatever type of asexual you are, it's really important that you cherish who you are for who you are, you know. Asexual Perspectives Awareness Month is all about celebrating our diversity across the spectrum and our differences within it. And there are so many differences. So many differences. And I wish for us all to embrace our own asexual journey and to learn about ourselves and discover all the wonderful things about ourselves that we never even knew. You know, asexuality for me has been a journey of discovery like no other. I have never been so awake and aware of myself since I first discovered I'm asexual. I never could have hoped or dreamed that I would meet anyone like me, let alone now I do this chat show and speak to beautiful asexuals like Megan and other people, you know. I couldn't even dream of this years ago. I didn't even know I was asexual. I thought I was heterosexual, just didn't really like sex, you know. Then I thought I was never going to find anyone like me and that I was just the only one in the whole world and it would be a very lonely existence, you know. So I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful I'm asexual. I'm so grateful I've discovered I'm asexual. I don't want to have sex. I wouldn't want to change my sexuality. Some people are like, oh, would you want to change your sexuality? I wouldn't ever change my sexuality. If I was given the option to be heterosexual or asexual, I would choose asexual every single time. Because I don't like sex. I'm not interested. I don't want it. I don't need it. And I feel a lot happier not having it. I just want the love, the romance, the caringness, the compassion, the kindness, the beauty of pure love in its most amazing form. Anyway, I'm going to love you and leave you for now because I am seeing my best female friend soon. I haven't seen for months, and friendship is so important. It is very, very important, just as important as any other type of relationship. And so I'm going to love you and leave you for now. I want to say thank you very much to Martin, who I know is gone now, for being in the stream chat. And thank you so much, Megan. Good luck with your guy. Good luck with your guy. I really hope it goes well. And I know you said they're one of your friends as well that you've got into a relationship with. So I'm really happy to hear they're your friend already. So they understand you a lot more than, you know, someone who wouldn't be your friend. So I hope that goes really well for you, Megan. Really wish from my heart to yours that this person loves and adores you as much as you deserve, because you deserve the best for you. Thank you. And yes, a great friend. I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy for you. I'm really, really happy for you, because friendship is the foundation of any loving, healthy, happy relationship. It all starts with friendship. And I wish you the best, best love and luck in the world. Let us know how it goes. I'm so excited for you. I get excited for other people, by the way. I'm so romantic. I'm like, yay, love, relationship, woo, woo, woo. It's amazing. And they're your friend. I'm so happy for you, because I know it's more likely to last if it's a great friend, because they value so much already. I'm so proud of you for being brave and bold and courageous like that. I'm so proud of you. It takes a lot of courage, especially if they are your friend, because some people, like I said, you know, they're a bit like, oh, I can't go there because they're my friend. But, you know, it's better to be in a relationship with your best friend than lose them to someone else if you think they're the right person for you. Don't make that mistake. You know, so many people are, oh, well, we're such good friends, I didn't want to spoil the friendship. And then you realize when they get into a relationship with someone else, that friendship changes anyway. They won't be probably such good friends to you necessarily. You know, I hope they will, but you know, sometimes it happens that way, you know, because I'll be spending more time with that person. I still intend to be best friends with my 3 best friends if I ever get into a relationship, but because friendship to me is of utmost importance, very top priority. Anyway, thank you, Megan. Thanks to everyone else that's watching. Thanks for the thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, hit the great big subscribe button now. If you want to grab a copy of Asexual Perspectives, the link is below in the description. And don't forget to embrace your quirky and each other. Subscribe, hit that bell icon to get notified when I go live like now. And I'll see you on the next video live stream. Take care. Lots of love. Bye, Megan. Bye, everyone. Take care. Thanks for watching. Bye.